starting today, we've got TYT Sports World Cup correspondent Francis Maxwell. First ever appearance on Twitter Storm. How are you, Francis?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very good. See, Scottish accent must mean that he knows soccer. Okay, so Francis, what do we got first?
Okay, so we have a tweet from Jack that said, you said something on Monday about competition between Fox anchors. Is there much competition between TYT anchors? Hashtag pot stirrer.
Yes, I like that stirring of the pot. Actually, we did. I say we did because it was John Iadarola versus Rick Strom, TYT University versus TYT Sports. It was trial by combat. Rick Strom is dead. No, that's why we have Francis Maxwell now. No, Rick moved to another job. Okay, no, I like to foster a little bit of, I like to do a little and get people going, but there's not that much of it. And if it is, it's certainly friendly, at least to my knowledge. Okay, what's next?
All right, Dave J. Fox has a great tweet. He says, ever thought about becoming a pro wrestler? Your special move could be a bear hug called the Bounds of Reason.
I love that move. I love that. I got the Bounds of Reason will stick to life. Okay. Yes, I've only thought about doing professional wrestling a million times. Of course, I'm not going to do it, but I mean, I'd be like those guys who come in every once in a while, like Dennis Rodman and all those like celebrity guests. Would I like to do that? I mean, come on, I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid in the 80s. I mean, who wouldn't want to clothesline someone, right? Of course! And I got my own move, and I'll show it to you when I make it there. All right, next.
A kid in the 80s, okay. 70s, you mean? Okay, Paddy Cronin. Who? Me? I was born in the 80s, 89.
Oh, 89?
The 80s
wow,
were great. That 1 year I spent was quality. I loved it. Paddy Cronin asks, why is Jay Iadarola called Johnny Pie?
Okay, great question. John Iadarola, so Johnny I, makes sense, right? And one day he made the mistake of bringing in pie for people. He was a decent human being. Just like in Game of Thrones, that does not get rewarded, it gets punished. Okay, so, and he, by the way, it wasn't even pie. It was like a simple, I don't know what it was, a strudel, a Danish, I don't know what it was. But we're like, yeah, way to bring in pie, Johnny Pie. And then we liked it, it stuck. But it's a good thing. It's a term of affection, let's put it that way, okay? When we think of him bringing in that pie, we think, what a lovely individual. My sense is he doesn't view it the same way. But anyway, nonetheless, next.
Zach asks, do you think the Democrats will ever get as conservative as Republicans?
No, they won't on social issues, but when it comes to financial issues, they're part of the same coin. They're just the other side of the coin. It's good cop, bad cop. It's not that they're any less conservative or more conservative than the Republicans when it comes to selling out to Wall Street and all the things that they do. It's that they work in tandem. So the Harlem Globetrotters got to play against somebody, right? And so you got to bring in the Washington Generals to get their ass kicked. And that's the role of the Democrats. But they're all on the same team in reality. Next.
Okay, so Johnny Koo, I think that's how you say it, is said, given David Brat's victory, how did Marianne Williamson's loss in her primary despite running on a similar anti-corruption crusade?
Okay, I like the substantive questions too. So Marianne Williamson ran in the 33rd district here in California. We did a big debate about that here on the Young Turks. And yes, she ran on that same platform, but so did about 12 other people in that race. There was about 15 people in that race. So only one of the progressives won because they split up the vote like crazy. So that happened to be Ted Lieu. And the one legitimate so-called establishment Republican in the race got all the Republican votes. So he's made it into the runoff. That's Elon Carr. So it's not that Marianne Williamson was the only one running on that campaign. The problem was in that case, very unique situation where almost all of the progressives and Democrats were running on that same issue. So that's why it's not analogous at all. If Ted Lieu takes that on as his signature issue, my guess is he would crush Elon Carr. All right, and it's a liberal district anyway, to be fair. All right, next.
Rick asks, so what's the deal with The Storm is Coming? A movie quip? Whose voice?
Oh, great question. It's from an old ad that the conservative goofballs did warning us about gay marriage. And they had all these different ethnicities because, the Republicans are so diverse. And that was a Latino guy warning us about the gay storm that was coming. He says, the storm is coming. We laughed so hard at that, so that's why it's now in the Twitter Storm intro. Next.
Okay, so Bitchy Gay Guy asks, on Monday, you said you'd do porn for $200 million. Would that price hold for gay porn? And then I think he put in star dramatic alien sound. Hashtag drahams.
I think he meant this. Indeed, and yes, that is quite drummy. So that's a question you can't win on. Because if you say, no, I wouldn't do gay porn for that, like, why? What are you, homophobic? It's $200 million. So, like, what are you, against gays? Why wouldn't you take $200 million to do gay porn? If you say you do, it'd be like, oh, okay. So, I don't know. Anyway, next.
Okay, Nat Simpao asks, he says, I am a senior and about to graduate high school. I am depressed that I won't see any of my friends again.
Okay, it's kind of a sad question to end on. All right, Nat, hang in there, brother. You know that I still see almost all my high school friends. Every year, I should say, we get together for draft day. We play fantasy football. Labor Day, we all get back together in our hometown of New Jersey, even though we're dispersed literally all over the world, including Hong Kong, China, Seattle, Washington, D.C., New York, L.A., and it goes on, right? And we also see each other during Martin Luther King Day, where we do a trip all across the country. So don't assume that you're going to lose all your high school friends. If you care enough, you build those bonds, they can stay with you for life. And it's been one of the most rewarding things in my life. Oh, we end on a schmoopy note, even though the storm was coming. All right, everybody check out Francis Maxwell, the new World Cup correspondent on TYT Sports, for all the World Cup action, including what happened today with Brazil.